it's been an incredibly hot few days, so there must be time for a cup of tea and a biscuit and a quick catch up on some other topics in this sequence of things of guns and stuff in film, TV productions. So my controversial statement is really simple: Glock or a Sig. You know, both guns get issued to the UK police, special forces, military, etc. Loads and loads and loads of them are in service. But which one's better, the Glock or the Sig? And here's my rationale as to why. And hopefully you can kind of make your own assumption now, and then I can change your mind in just a little while. So let's just get one of our prop guns safe. So there's nothing in the mag well, there's nothing in the breech. This is now an empty firearm and quite safe to point around and stuff. They do look incredibly realistic, and this is something that, you know, has to be really considered. While they are airsofts and they fall under slightly different legislation, if you are caught out on the street with one, you don't have a proper excuse, you can't show them the CAD number, you could be in a lot of trouble. That's why you need a film armourer, a bit like me, probably slightly less chatty and slightly more boring, but you know, each their own. So we have the Glock. This happens to be a Glock 19. They all look the same. They all operate in very much the same way. They're slightly different sizes sometimes. This is quite a late one because it's got different functionality on the top plate, but you know, it's nothing you need to worry about. It's a black pistol and they're great. So we've loaded it and charged it. We've given it to the actor. The actor then walks into their scene that we've rehearsed a little tiny bit and has to deliver some lines. There may be some actors that are moving around in front of them, or there may be some the bad guy or whoever is running away, or the good guy's running away, and they're being chased, and all of a sudden they get to each other, and one of them says, "You need to stop," and the other bloke says, "Why?" And it says, "Because I've got the gun, mate," and that's how it works around here. And you know it's a Glock because there's no safety catches, there's nothing to actuate, it's literally bam bam, good to go immediately. And if I was a bad guy or I was on the run, one of them was pointing one of these things at me, I'll probably stop. Yeah, I'll probably stop. Yeah, that sounds fair enough. So, and that's kind of the beauty, but also the problem with the Glock, because it doesn't do anything other than that. You know, if your script is strong, your action sequence is strong, it's just a black thing. It could be a bar of soap that's been painted with shoe polish. This is where the 6 Sauer is better. It's again just open it up. There's nothing in the mag, there's nothing in the breech. We know the gun is safe, and we would hand the firearm to the actor pre-charged, and it's good to go. It doesn't have a manual safety, so there's nothing to actuate, unlike the 1911 that we showed you in our previous video, or some of the other guns. So what makes this better? We've got our sequence, bad guy, good guy running, confrontation, gun comes out, and the lines are, you know, "Stop running, I'm sick to death of chasing after you." And they're like, "No, I want to run some more." And then they literally pull the hammer back. It's not this whole stupid slide action racking thing that really drives me insane and upsets the sound department. It is a very simple close-up shot of the hammer being racked back, because now you mean business. You know, you've added a complete slice of tension, drama, that simple little action, the hammer's back. And obviously now the person at the other end of this is going to be compliant because they don't want to get shot, and I don't blame them. But now that we've ramped this tension up, what happens if actually the sequence involved long lost chums that, you know, had a bit of a falling out, and now that they're all chummy again, you know, it's bad form to be pointing a loaded firearm at someone. It's bad form to be the pointed at person and go, because it's kind of frightening. So we can now defuse this scene with the simple action, again, nice for the close-up, of the decocker coming into play and the hammer resting forwards. And now the gun is all safe and we're all friends again, and let's get to the pub, have a cup of tea and some biscuits, and, you know, we're all good. And isn't that a much more dynamic and interesting sequence to film in very short cuts than just a generic black thing that you can't really tell what it is or what's going on? And it adds a little bit of production value at no real extra cost. So with that, hopefully I've persuaded you that the SIG is the better firearm for film and TV. The Glock will do, but everyone uses them, and why not stand out of the crowd a little tiny bit? And on that note, hope that the rest of the week goes well for you, and we'll catch up on a separate video later. Thanks very much.